Of the entire Final Fantasy XIV universe, Stormblood has always stood as the piece I've wanted to talk about the most. I don't know why, but I often thoroughly enjoy the games that aren't considered the best by most. I walked away greatly affected by Stormblood, but today I will solely focus on the remarkable soundtrack. Once again mostly composed by Masayoshi Soken, this soundtrack took a stark direction, with much of its sound and instruments derivative of ancient Japan. I will make the same rules as before. I cannot use remixes of tracks from other games. For example, I cannot use Cyan's theme from Final Fantasy VI. I also have to praise the orchestrations from the Interdimensional Rift questline. FF5's boss theme especially rocked my world. I also can't use tracks that were in previous FF14 expansions. Let's commence. Number 5, Revolutions. Perhaps you're surprised that the anthem created by Nobuo Uematsu would be so low. It's not because I don't like it. I really love it. That just shows how much I adore the rest of Stormblood's soundtrack. This track is once again vocalized by Susan Calloway, who also sang Answers and Dragon Song. It was neat in this era to see Uematsu try to tackle genres he hadn't dabbled with much before. This track has a strong triumph after war feel to it, while FF15's Comrades' Choosing Hope was a gospel-inspired piece. Both of these games came out in 2017. I guess Uematsu must have been feeling it that year. Number 4, The Road to Peace. It's been long enough since I played Stormblood to forget exactly where this plays, but it apparently does during multiple cutscenes. This track fits in well with FF14's soundtrack strengths overall. Soken is great at making you care about certain events or people that you don't know much about, strictly due to the music playing at the time. Stormblood is heavily themed around those seeking freedom and peace, so it's certainly well titled. Number 3, Crimson Sunrise. The theme of Kugane, my favorite major city in Final Fantasy XIV. There are various iterations of this theme in the game, but this version proudly stands out. I loved the heavy Eastern influence of this game. How can you not love it while hearing this? Aesthetically and musically, it's such a beautiful experience. Another wonderful iteration that I must bring up is the boss theme, Triumph. It kills me that I had to exclude it. Even if you haven't played FF14, listen to this soundtrack. It just may compel you to finally dive in. Number 2, Drowning in the Horizon. From my memory, before re-listening to the soundtrack, this was going to be number 1. On paper, it's probably the least remarkable track on my rankings, but I can't help but subjectively be infatuated with it. I remember stopping to let it play out when I first heard it. It's the theme of the Azim Step, and it's mostly what I hear when I reflect on this game. I'm actually a huge Enya fan, and it made me think of something that she would do. I wish that more composers would record vocal melodies like these. Number 1, Parting Ways. The track I had forgotten about until re-listening to the soundtrack recently. I clearly remember it now. One of the moments I felt the most invested in Final Fantasy XIV was the story of Lord Cayenne. This track plays during several cutscenes apparently, but this is where it deeply resonated with me. The mixture of the harp and pan flute creates such a beautiful melody. I believe that music is one of the most compelling forms of storytelling in video games. I would say that Parting Ways is the heart of Stormblood to me. But I think every track I've mentioned fits the bill.